Good afternoon again. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We'll get back to JRC in a moment, but first, as usual, the disclaimers. If you're unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, pertinent links are there in the description box. We have Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject. The article written by Neuroclastic, where they interviewed over 800 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program, the very same one that the JRC threatened a defamation lawsuit over. Neuroclastic refused, of course. Read the article and share it. Also, if you can, we do have Neuroclastic's GoFundMe linked up in there, because unlike the JRC, we don't have access to unlimited funding in case they ever see through with their threat. And to the trigger warnings, when we talk about places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center or Agape Boarding School for Boys, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips or surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones. Also, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity and speak on dark subjects. If your child's 16 and younger and watching this, parental supervision is advised. So now back to the game that I detest the most, where I have to repeat myself into infinity. Let's get to that next sentence. You'll figure it out pretty quickly. SAS's SIB and AB dramatically decreased. Over the past 6 years, with the use of GED devices, SAS exhibited 1.47 SIB per month and nearly 0 AB per month. Yep, we're going to have to repeat ourselves. Okay, JRC. If you inflict violence on someone, if you cause them physical pain, it is going to disrupt whatever they are doing in that moment. That is true with anyone. Let's set up a scenario so maybe you all can finally wrap your brains around it. Let's say we've got a neurotypical child, right? If you've ever been around a neurotypical teen, you're going to come across one or two within the span of your life who have their own form of behavioral problems. They mouth off to teachers. They threaten others around them to physical fights in the school parking lot. They are drinking heavily. Sometimes they get into drugs. This is neurotypical Child A, we'll call them. Teen A. Alright? Good. Now, we know Teen A is having these problems, right? And technically speaking, these are dangerous behavioral problems. Yes. Just because they don't have the label doesn't mean the behavior is different. Just because I have a label and they do not. Okay? Neurotypical teen A is getting themselves into some trouble. To the point it is getting their parents really scared and very nervous. There's already been interactions going on with the police. This is our fake scenario here, okay? Now, JRC, because of what we know when it comes to what happens when somebody deliberately causes another person physical pain. It tends to stop whatever is going on, what that person is doing in that time period, right? So, would you agree that what needs to happen to neurotypical teen A, because of their dangerous and scary behaviors, is that they need to have physical pain inflicted on them because of their behavior? Would you recommend that? After all, these are dangerous behavioral issues, are they not? People having rage issues. People who are having maybe the usual teenage angst of trying to figure out who they are. Getting in trouble. Getting the cops called on them. Cops coming in home all hours of the night with the kid. Just as scary as if my autistic ass was doing something, right? Would you recommend for the neurotypical child's treatment that's having behavioral issues like this, that somebody inflict on them intentionally physical pain as the treatment to those behaviors? Yes or no? And if not, why not? They're getting the cops called on them. They are exhibiting extreme aggressive behavior to the students around them. They could cause themselves decades of harm, heavy drinking, or getting involved with drugs. Right? A lot of the same risks people like me with a label face. We do stupid stuff that we don't always have control over, right? Right? Would you recommend the same treatment for the neurotypical person having the same issues? Yes or no? Since the JRC is not there to answer for themselves, I'll go ahead and do it for them. No, they would not. They would recommend getting the kid counseling, and if necessary, possibly getting them on some medication, at least temporary, if nothing else. So the question then becomes, why is it okay when I have behavioral issues that are manifesting themselves in their usual neurodivergent manner on the rare occurrences these days that they happen? Why is it okay that I am punished for things that I do not and cannot control when they are occurring by means of you inflicting physical pain on me? But you wouldn't do it for neurotypical teen A for having similar scary behaviors. What is the difference there? What is the difference? It's simple. If any place tried to visit it upon a neurotypical child, the same kind of treatment that is forced on the kids at the JRC, the parents would be in the streets with torches and pitchforks. You're talking worldwide, international news, and international uproar. Us folks who are disabled, on the other hand, although not really doing anything all that different from troubled teen A, even less so considering we don't necessarily have any real control of those behaviors once they have been provoked and are out of the bag, so to speak. Then why is it okay to do to us? It's because we have a label, folks. That's pretty much it. And that label makes every single person around us view us differently. Unless we are dealing with people within our own neurotribe, or the rare folks like my mom, who shares a lot of traits without having full-blown autism herself, who just really gets it, and kind of like really had her eye on my doctors. That's it. There's something that is systemically ableistic that's in our society. There may have been some progress, but as a society, we really do need to bring home and help people realize that we are not given the same type of value in our society as our neurotypical peers. Not even, but we have the absolutely perfect mask. We have all the degrees, all the certifications, gone to like pristine colleges. We're still looked at as less than. I'm sorry, I'm gonna call it like I see it. And if you want to say that's not true, revisit that scenario I just gave you. And really think about it. Dr. Israel chose to work with people like me specifically for a reason. Because this is my hypothesis, allegedly there'd be less of an uproar if his bizarre, evil experiments were done on people like me, and if he had tried some other type of people that are out in the public. Unfortunately, so far he's been right. And with what's coming currently out of our federal government right now, with RFK Jr. wanting to put people on me on wellness farms and force us to labor there unpaid against our will, this is an extremely pertinent thing that we all need to start talking about a whole hell of a lot more than what we do. I only know about it because people through the grapevine that I've networked with for years brought it to my attention. I'm not seeing it not only on mainstream media, I'm not even seeing it being talked about by independent creators. To borrow a phrase for somebody who once told me to wait my turn when talking about the things happening to people like me, if ever there was a time, guess what? It is now our house that is on fire. And if you actually, as a society, believe we've actually really progressed, that we need to start having the conversation about the Damocles sword threat that's about to extend from places like JRC to all 50 states. I'm going to go ahead and close on that, folks. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few we do tend to get removed from time to time. Please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit the comments. I appreciate your time. As always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea absolutely do hope you have a good one. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye, everyone.